Thanks for joining us.
The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Andy Brownell along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
Well, with your pool out of commission, I imagine you're not throwing the big weekend bash.
No, we're definitely not. As a matter of fact, Scott is outside as we speak, picking up pavers and removing them so that they can get in to break up the concrete to redo the pool.
Oh, no.
It's a work weekend. I don't know. Maybe we'll have some fun. We have friends with boats. It's good. One of the big pluses of living on the river, I'll tell you that.
Yep, I bet it is. You don't have to do a whole lot of planning.
Exactly. Pack a cooler and jump on.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it was another busy week for you.
Oh, my gosh. I cannot believe how busy it has been.
And this is despite every national headline I see.
Correct.
That it's all doom and gloom.
Unfortunately, I feel like there are a bunch of realtors feeling it. I think it's one of those things where, 5% of the realtors in our city do 95% of the business. And I think it's always kind of been that way where There's been a certain top group that gets a lot of the business. But I think since AI has become an important factor, that probably has even gotten more off balance. Because I know there are a lot of the support of a team. It's really tough when you're one person and you're trying to compete with what a team can provide to the same client at no additional cost, of course. It's just kind of a no-brainer. And I'm not saying this to diss anybody that chooses to work on their own. They can do what they want to do. I just know that it's been tougher for them.
And I know you being a full-service company, the array of services that you offer I'm always amazed by it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
When you talk about helping folks, get the house ready and having these list of contractors, you guys have personally gone out and helped people pack up stuff.
Many times. Scott has had to throw lawnmower in the back of the truck and zip over and quick do a mow before the walkthrough because we don't want to make sure it looks good for the next people. I believe in doing a pre-walkthrough. So a final walkthrough, say you just purchased a house and I'm your realtor, right? So that means we're going to close Tuesday at 9:00 in the morning. Typically, I would say, hey, Andy, let's meet at the house at 8:00 Tuesday morning so we can do our final walkthrough. But I have learned the hard way over the years that there is nothing more discouraging or disappointing to a buyer than to come to do the final walkthrough, and it's just not what they expected. Sure. The people left in a hurry. They left a mess. They didn't even bother to sweep up the floor. There's icky stuff spilt inside the fridge. It's just so sad. So I have learned to go do a pre-walkthrough before I do my walkthrough with my clients so that if there are things that need to be taken care of, I can make doggone sure they're taken care of before we get there with the clients.
That's a big
deal. And it
deal.
matters.
Oh, yeah.
It matters. It's the house that you just paid a lot of money for, and you want to be excited about it, and you're exhausted because you just packed up the last place that you moved out of, whether it was your apartment, your parents' basement, wherever you were living. It's still work, packing up your things and getting it all situated for the move. And then if you come in and you're overtired, you probably haven't eaten, and then you come into a mess, it's just awful.
Does that mean you come in there with a tub of cleaning supplies?
Oh, I've done it. All cleaning ladies that are available. I know that people are traveling a long way. They might have been driving several hours to get there. So I'll make sure there's some cold water in the fridge and, just little extra things. I want it to be a really pleasant experience when it's time to do the walkthrough. And then I always say the closing is the celebration. I have agents that say to me, well, how can you possibly go to all of the closings? Well, I can because I have a whole team of people. So if I have somebody else that needs to go look at a house during the same time I have a closing, I can get Scott or Brett or Matt or Elizabeth or Triata or Michael, any of them, to go show the house for me so that I can be in the moment at the closing. But that's a lot tougher if you're one person trying to spread yourself,
Absolutely.
and try to do all of that. So it does help.
And you mentioned, you referred to them as little things, but altogether it's not a little thing. It's part of the whole experience. And you've told me so many times that your job is to remove that stress and make it as pleasant of an experience as it can be.
Exactly. And I mean, do I come to closings? I have been known to change vacation plans around closings. I'm not going to miss my buyer's closings. I mean, that is a super important thing.
I've only done it once, and it was a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yes, it is. And I just feel like people have, just because of the way the industry, not just real estate, but any service industry is, people have really lowered their expectations. So when you do these things that to me are no-brainers, people really feel like you've done a lot. And that's a little scary. Just like when I answer my phone, when people call me, I always hear this: "Oh my gosh, you answered your phone."
Yep.
Is this the real Robin? I'm like, well, what in the world? You called me. Of course I answered my phone. But it's unbelievable how many people don't.
Well, it's such a valuable thing. I have the same reaction. If I call a company and I don't get a phone tree, I am so pleased. Just to have a human answer the phone and, oh, yeah, okay. I don't have to go through this navigational thing to actually find somebody. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
I
tell my team, a lot of people say, well, I just text. Fine, you can text for some things, but certain things, it's time to pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, texting is a super useful tool when you have to communicate really quickly on the go. And
right.
Yeah, but for me personally, if I have questions, I want that give and take to be able to, hey, what about this? And or somebody to reassure me when I'm worried about something.
Well, I'll give you an example. Earlier this week, my God, I can't even believe I'm saying that because it feels like 3.5 weeks ago, but it was this past Monday. Brett had a closing and it was supposed to happen midday on Monday. Date in New York. En route driving here so that they can be here. Okay. And so they had pre-signed everything online and had their money wired. The sellers had pre-signed. So the only thing left was Brett had to go do a final walkthrough, make sure everything was good. And then if everything was good, he just had to give the green light to disperse the money and everything was done. So he went to do the walkthrough and he gets to the basement and what does he find but wet carpet?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, no is right. So he immediately calls the realtor. And well, actually, to be 100% honest, the realtor warned him, when you get over there, you're going to find this because she had done a pre-walkthrough and she said, I've called the sellers. They feel terrible. They're almost in tears over this. We'll figure it out. So he went in and he's like, oh boy, what now? And I said, well, you got to talk to the buyers and see what they want. And the buyers are like, well, we want to know why the water is in there. Like, what's the problem? Is it just because it rained? And if so, are we going to get this every time it rains? And so we don't just want dry carpet or even just new carpet. We want the situation resolved. Well, now in the meantime, the buyers went from being almost in tears the sellers went from being almost in tears and feeling so bad to, they got a great deal on the house. We're not doing anything. If they don't close today, we're sending over a cancellation.
Oh, gosh.
So it's the roller coaster of emotions that we go through. It's just crazy. And so, Brett checked with the bank and obviously there are rules. And if we didn't close that day, then they would, even if they came to an agreement on something, there would have to be a new seller's disclosure, for the loan, which is a 3-day right of rescission. So now the very soonest we're closing, and then, it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it would have been Friday. So yesterday would have been the soonest it could have closed instead of Monday. And they were going to on Tuesday. And their moving truck was coming that afternoon or the next day. So
you're stressing me out just telling me this story.
Right. And so this is the stuff we just keep behind the scenes until we get it all resolved. So Brett says to me, I don't think it's going to happen, Mom. We finally came to agreement with a holdback amount, and we got bids. Brett scrambled like crazy to get a water guy over there, a basement guy, a flooring guy, got some bids. We agreed on a holdback. The sellers agreed, yes, that's fair. And the banker sent it over, and it was after 5. It was 5:00, and something needed to be changed. And the banker said, well, the underwriters are off. Get done today. And Brett told me that, and I'm like, oh yeah, no. So I called the banker, and he goes, it's out of my control. This is what my supervisor said. I said, okay, well, now you need to tell your supervisor, remind your supervisor that this is involving people's real lives. They're going to be pulling in here, and they need to have this house, and they can't wait for 3 more days. It's not fair. It's not right. He said, yep, that's what I done. We've got an underwriter working on this. We're going to get this done today. And I'm like, good answer. And then he said to me, well, my son is missing baseball practice. My daughter's missing softball practice, but that's okay because I understand that this is what's important, our clients' lives. I said, you just moved up 5 rungs with me as far as preferred lender because you just showed me what you're made of. And seriously, I thought he was great. This is what for the people I work with, the vendors I work, this is what I need. It's like, go the extra mile because we're going to make it happen. And our closers literally stayed in the office till 8:30 p.m. that night. And we got that deal done and it closed at 8:30 p.m. on Monday.
And I thought all you guys did was show up and show houses.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, Robin, we do have to take a break. Wow, what a story. We'll be back in a moment with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Supplies last.
To Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. We are with, of course, it's Saturday morning with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Robin, I know you devour a ton of information related to the real estate marketplace, not just here in southeastern Minnesota, but the whole country. Is there any new data, tidbits, whatever, that you could share with us regarding what's happening out there?
You know me, I actually like to focus on the positive, and doggone it, we have a lot of positive stuff going on. Yes, it is true that people are a little stressed out and maybe not moving as fast as we predicted they would be, and now the market's probably not going to get as hot. We thought it'd be a pretty hot spring, summer, and again, I can't say that it hasn't been for me, but I'm talking about in general. Right. And now it looks like that demand is going to be a little bit higher in the fall because I think people are predicting that we will see a drop in the interest rates by then and hopefully a drop in the gas prices and things like that.
Yeah, but, war in the Middle East tends to disrupt things.
It definitely does. And some of the, things that are bad for some people are good for others. Like newly built home prices hit a 5-year low. Well, that might not be great if you're a builder, but it's great if you want to build a house, if you want to be a buyer. So I always say things like in the winter when there's no snow, everybody's like, oh, this is great, no snow. I'm like, it's great unless you're selling snow blowers or snowmobiles or you're in the snow plow business, right?
Exactly.
So it seems like things are always good for one person and not great for another. There are 10 markets that are doing really well across the country. The Boston, Cambridge, Newton, Massachusetts market is literally up 10.3% over this time last year. Yeah.
That's Harvard.
And and Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach up 9.5%. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma up 8.6%.
Huh.
The Milwaukee and Waukesha, Wisconsin market is up 7.4%. Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Virginia, and North Carolina up 7.2%. The Raleigh-Cary, North Carolina market is up 5.7%. Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Texas up 5.5%. The Washington, Arlington, Alexandria, D.C., Virginia, Maryland, Washington market, that's such a close, small little place, up 5.5%. Ohio up 5.4%. And the Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina, Concord, Gastonia up 5.1%. So there's 10 markets that are at least 5% higher than they were at this time last year.
And a lot of those markets, not all of them, but a lot of them were markets that kind of got hit hard when things.
Correct.
So
you're absolutely
once again,
right.
more evidence that things have bottomed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we do have buyers coming out, but they are coming out with cautious optimism. You know, there is just that certain bit of economic uncertainty, but the demand will easily be even higher. Rates retreat to a lower level. So I think overall, the real estate market is darn good.
Well, just my observation after being alive as long as I have is once these gasoline prices subside, which they will, it's just when. It's just when. That has such a huge psychological effect on folks because every time you drive by one of these gas stations and see that price, you kind of cringe, you know?
Yeah. Whether you need gas or not, it just hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. And it may not even personally affect you that much because maybe your commute is really short or you drive a car that gets really good gas mileage. But it just seeing that number, you go, ugh. And it probably affects every decision you make as far as purchases and everything else. And when it goes the other direction, it'll have the opposite effect.
You're absolutely right. And Brian Buffini, I speak about him a lot. You know, he was a realtor at RE/MAX for many years and immigrant from Ireland. And then he became one of the first pioneers of having a real estate team. He was smart enough to think, okay, many hands do more work, right? And then he became a trainer and taught other people how to have teams. Then he left real estate and now he has the largest real estate training business, the Buffini and Company. And he does a lot of bold predictions and he talks a lot about where the market's going and what's happening. And he's spot on. I mean, he's a really smart guy and he's not talking about just his notions or his feelings. He's talking about data. He does a lot of research. And his headline was simply a picture of the gas prices. And he said, when we fix this, we fix the housing market. And it pretty much boils down to exactly that.
Yeah. All right, Robin, let's take another break. And
okay.
No, you go ahead. But yeah, I know you have some listings and I'd love to hear about them. And we'll do that when we return with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Memorial Day holiday weekend Saturday with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. And Robin, you mentioned you're working this weekend. Do you have open houses this weekend?
Well, personally, I do not, but a lot of our team members are holding open houses. I'm showing a few houses later today, but I'll go through what we have being held open, okay? So I've got this townhome over at 2031 Pinewood Road, Southwest. And we talked about this because it was a coming soon. It's a small-ish townhome. It's got 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. But what makes it unique is it has a 3-car garage.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, and it's so great because the people who had owned it, the husband has passed away, but the wife has now moved to be closer to her kids. But they bought it because they came from a farm, that 3rd stall garage, because it's kind of like his little man cave. He had a TV out there and a lazy boy out there and his workbench out there. So they had room for both cars and he had a little space. So that was pretty good. And that's $250,000.
Oh,
and
gosh.
it was coming soon. So it's just open for the first time. And that will be open today from 10:30 till 12.
And people don't realize how nice that little neck of the woods is over there.
Oh, it's so nice. Yes.
It's quiet.
Yes. And then we have another new one, 937 Oakview Drive. It's a big house, 4 beds, 4 baths, $599,900. And this one is open this morning from 10 until 11:30. Just hit the market yesterday. So that's another good one.
Excellent.
And yeah, we have I'll just go through all the open houses.
Okay.
So we have an open house at 2030 26th Avenue. That one is from 11 until 12:30 today. Then we have Sunnydale Lane, 3913. That one is great house for the value. Wow. 4 beds, 3 baths, built in 2018. Really cute house. $457,900. And that one is open today from 11 until 12:30. We have 59261 County Road 7 out in Zumbro Falls for $757,900. 4 bedroom, 3 bath. That one's open tomorrow, Sunday, from 12:30 till 2. We've got a new listing on Simpson Road Southeast for $525,000, 4 beds, 3 baths. That one is open today from 1 o'clock until 2:30. We've got a townhome up on Panorama Circle for $675,000, 4 beds, 4 baths, open today from 11 until 12:30. Then we have 3046 River Falls, 229,900, and that one is a townhome, 2 beds, 2 baths, open today from 1 until 2:30. And last but not least, we have 5509 25th Ave Northwest for $240,000, 2 beds, 2 baths, and that's open from 1 until 2:30 today.
Oh my God.
So lots of open houses for holiday weekend. I have kind of stuck to the rule of I don't do open houses on holiday weekends because I feel like the buyers that are out are very serious buyers if that's what they're doing on a holiday weekend.
Yes.
And typically they're going to be out with their agents. But, I'm thrilled. Awesome team members that were willing to host all these open houses today. And I hope that they'll get a lot of traffic and see some action and make some sales.
I think the weather's supposed to be fantastic. So
it is.
That always bodes well for that kind of thing. Yeah.
It sure does. It sure does. So the one that I had been bragging about down on Camp Winona Trail, that big, beautiful house on the lake on Faribault, I did the open house last Saturday. It sold it. Boom.
Well,
I didn't, but an agent came in with it and sold it. So
at that price, I knew it would.
That. Yeah, exactly. So, and I had told the sellers, the minute you do this price improvement, it's going to fly off the shelf, and boom, it flew off the shelf. So super happy for them.
I was socializing last week, and I told a few people about you having that open house and what the property, and they were astounded at that price.
Yeah, it was a very good deal. I hope the new buyers love it as much as the current owners do. So I love it. I love it when there's deals to be had out there, right? We also have Echo Ridge Southwest, and this one is a 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,723 square feet. It's 10 years old, and it's listed at $715,000. It is a beauty. So that's another good option. Not held open, but we can sure get you in it.
Sure.
I have a new listing on Mayo Prairie Lane Southwest, a new construction that is, love it. 4 beds, 4 baths. It's just over 4,000 square feet. Has a 3-car garage, and it sits on a half an acre. And that one is $1,115,000. So got that. Talked about Sunnydale. That one's coming open. This one's a nice one. 1045 19th Ave Northeast. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath, split-level house with a 2-car tuck under garage. Really nice lot with a lot of woods. $369,900. So I've got things in all the price points.
I was just going to say that you have over $1 million down into the mid 200s.
I've got one for $169,900 over in Deer Haven Lane Northeast, a really nice little condo that she had put new carpet and new paint in, ready for the next buyer. So no matter what it is you're looking for, literally that condo that's less than 200 or a house that's well over $1 million, we've got things all the way in between. We have people that are available to show you houses this weekend. If you are interested in seeing them, all you got to do is call. We will. The answer is never no with us. Again, one of the glories of working with the team is we're not one person trying to be in 10 places at one time. Instead, we're a large group of people who are ready to be wherever you need us to be at that time.
Well, you said all you have to do is call. How do they do it?
Absolutely. Call my cell phone, please, and that number is 507-259-4926. And I'll answer it, I promise. The only time I don't is if I'm talking to somebody else.
It'll be the real Robin.
The real.
All right. Well, Robin, enjoy the rest of the Memorial Day weekend. Everybody else, you as well. Stay safe, everyone, and thanks for being with us. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM at 96.